Imagine a king born into absolute power, surrounded by gold, luxury, and adoration, only to end his life in chains, condemned by his own people. This is the story of Louis XVI, the last king of France before the Revolution. His life began in splendor at Versailles, and ended beneath the guillotine. Childhood and education. Louis Auguste was born on August 23, 1754, at the magnificent Palace of Versailles. The grandson of Louis XV, he was not expected to be king, but after the death of his older brothers, fate placed the crown upon his head. He grew up shy and reserved, more interested in books, geography, and locksmithing than in politics. His tutors praised his intelligence, but often noted his lack of confidence. This would become his greatest weakness when the throne finally became his. Marriage to Marie Antoinette, just 15 years old. Louis was married to Marie Antoinette of Austria, forming a political alliance between France and Austria. She was glamorous, fashionable, and controversial, adored by some, hated by many. Their early marriage was awkward, even ridiculed, because it took years to produce an heir. But in time, Louis and Marie Antoinette grew closer, raising a family together, even as their kingdom grew restless. King at 20 in 1774, at only 20 years old, Louis became king. The young monarch inherited a kingdom already drowning in debt. At first he showed promise. He hired reformers like Turgot and Necker to stabilize France's finances. But powerful nobles resisted change, and Louis's own indecision led to failure. The American Revolution ensued. Louis made a bold decision to support the American colonies in their war against Britain. French troops, ships, and money helped secure American independence. But while the Americans celebrated freedom, France sank deeper into debt. The people suffered under rising taxes and soaring bread prices, while the Palace of Versailles glittered with wealth. Toward revolution by 1789, anger boiled over. Louis summoned the Estates General, hoping to fix the crisis. Instead, it unleashed the French Revolution. The Third Estate declared itself the National Assembly, and the storming of the Bastille shook the monarchy to its core. Louis was forced to move from Versailles to Paris, living under constant watch of his people. The flight to Varennes in 1791. The royal family attempted to escape Paris in disguise, but in Varennes they were recognized, captured, and dragged back to the capital. The failed escape destroyed what little trust remained. Too many. Louis XVI was no longer a king. He was a traitor. Trial and execution by 1792. The monarchy was abolished. France declared itself a republic. Louis XVI was put on trial for treason. On January 21, 1793, he was led to the guillotine. He spoke calmly, declaring his innocence and forgiving his enemies. Moments later, the blade fell. The King of France was dead. Legacy. Louis XVI's reign ended not just his life, but centuries of absolute monarchy. Some see him as weak and indecisive, others as a tragic victim of history's unstoppable tide. But one thing is certain, his execution changed France forever and sent shockwaves across Europe, from Versailles to the guillotine. The story of Louis XVI is a reminder that no throne is safe when the voice of the people grows louder than the crown. History remembers him not as a conqueror, but as a king who could not stop the revolution. And in his fall, a new France was born,